This is actually game 3 of a best of 3 series. That does mean that everything is all tied up at 1 game apiece. Now on the bottom left hand side of the map, we have Yumiko spawning as the red human. Meanwhile, on the top right hand side in the blue trunks or blue shirts or whatever it is that the undead wear, we see WFZ. This is going to be a 1v1 matchup, and well, I'm sure you guys will figure out why I am casting this game. This game came highly recommended, and therefore it is the main reason why I am casting this game. Now, for those of you guys who are still donating to me and also plugging and contributing to my Patreon page, that definitely does help. I remember doing my taxes, and casting is actually putting me at a little bit of a loss. So then again, for all you accountants out there, the loss is actually an asset for me. So it's all very strange. Nothing I can really explain, but apparently my accountant says keep on doing what you're doing if you enjoy it. And hey, I do enjoy it, and hopefully I am getting 3 years up or 5 years up on the competition for when Warcraft 4, if and when it does come out. Now, Yumiko is going to be opening up with a Mountain King up against most likely a Death Knight. Now, I am interested to see what a Mountain King is going to be able to do in a matchup like this. Archmage is generally the preferred hero, but then again, when the game does go long, the Archmage kind of loses a bit of its power. Now, we are going to be going in with a Mountain King, and a Mountain King does have a bit of problems. The Mountain King really does not have any anti-air, and is someone messaging me? Oh yes, someone is messaging me for a quick game of heroes, but I need a closed BattleNet. There we have it. Alright, just coming back down over here. We can see that the Mountain King is already out, and it is going to be Militia bolting this Ice Troll Warlord. Footman does spot this Acolyte as we are now getting in a little bit of damage. Oh, purposely bolting down the Acolyte to make sure that it is not going to be a steal on, say, a Troll Shadow Priest. Footman also getting ensnared down as well as the Troll Shadow Priest does make its way out. Militia do need to be very careful. They do not want to end up falling here as the Death Knight is now on its way over. Alright, it looks like Mantle of Intelligence +3 plus a Scroll of the Beast will be dropped here, and we should be getting to level 2 on that Mountain King. There we go, level 2 on the Mountain King already, as the Death Knight now may be making its way over. The Death Knight gonna have an absolute field day on these peasants. There goes one already. A second peasant most likely will get taken down. There goes 2. There goes 3, as the Mountain King does have enough for a Stormbolt, but decides against it and wants to hold on to a bit of mana instead. Alright, Death Knight getting 3 peasant kills very early. 75 mana, 200 and I believe 10 gold advantage for WFZ as things do move right along. But the Mountain King, you gotta remember, is also getting more experience and is also benefiting from the additional gold that you collect while creeping. Troll Shadow Priest down to 157 mana, could probably abolish magic pretty easily. There you go, a quick abolish magic takes down one of those skeletal minions, and that Mountain King is well on his way to level 3. If the Mountain King is at level 3 while the Death Knight is at level 1, things will just go from bad to worse. Meanwhile, Yumiko is training up more peasants, and this is important. Yumiko looks like he's going to be trying to go for an expansion attempt off over here at the 9 o'clock position, but the timing is going to be a bit strange since the Death Knight is staying nearby. We should also be keeping a track of WFZ's base. You see that we are only operating on 1 crypt, and I am surprised that WFZ didn't opt to go for Gargoyles. Gargoyles, the perfect counter to that Mountain King opening, as the Gargoyles are flying units, deal piercing damage, and the only thing that you can really do to try and stop that is to get defend on those footmen, which is rather expensive. You have to save up for 100 lumber in order to even attempt that strategy there, as we're now going to be looking at the Ice Troll Berserkers. The Ice Troll High Priest quickly going to get taken down. You want to get rid of it before it is able to ice armor any of those units, and that's exactly what we saw there, as that is a little bit of a lucky break as well. Double Troll Shadow Priest all the way to victory for Yumiko, as he is now going to be setting up Arcane Tower, most likely followed up with an expansion of his own. Death Knight now on the board with some experience, now sitting at level 2. How is he going to respond? He does have Crypt Fiends, and he does want to put a lot of pressure onto his opponent. The problem is Storm bolting a Crypt Fiend followed by the so many footmen. They are going to be able to take down those Crypt Fiends rather quickly, since unless the Death Knight does have a good bit of mana. Meanwhile, let's take a look. We are at Halls of the Dead. We are now adding a Lich as the Death Knight sells an item, picks up another Rod of Necromancy, and still doing a little bit more creeping here. There goes another unit as the Death Knight now wanders forward. Mountain King is already at level 3, so his Stormbolt is actually going to deal more damage to a Crypt Fiend than a level 1 Holy Coil. I believe it's 225 for the damage versus the 200 on that level 1 Death Coil, unless the Death Coil gets to level 2, which is only 86 experience away. All right, let's move right along. Skeletal Minion hanging around over here. We may see him pick up some new mercenary camps from that. Well, from the new mercenary from the mercenary camps. Meanwhile, down over here, the Mountain King still doing a lot of solo experience gain. Mountain King may actually go straight past level 3, or like a short time in level 3 and go to level 4, and that would be interesting. Also, we see a Ring of Regeneration on Yumiko, and I personally like Rings of Regeneration. I feel that it gives a little bit more of a passive heal as the Death Knight, may get a full surround here. There's the Frost Armor. Are we going to see an Abolish Magic? Yes, we are. And then Dust of Appearance. How did the Mountain King know? Oh, there is another Troll Shadow Priest. Are we going to get another Frost Armor? Potion of Invulnerability transferred over. Death Coil now onto that poor Troll Shadow Priest there, and the Death Knight, it looks like he will be able to get in the way. No, Mountain King purposely gets in harm's way only to see the Death Coil fly right by his head and take down that Troll Shadow Priest. Death Knight sitting at level 2, Lich sitting at level 1. Tech to tier 3 has not begun yet for WFZ, as we see obsidian statues and perhaps meat wagons will be added. If it is going to be a long fight at tier 2, meat wagons are definitely the way to go. I believe Ted was the one that made that strategy rather popular a couple years back, but I haven't really seen it show its face any longer. So not quite sure what happened in the shift of the meta. That Undead did come back strong, but is now probably just even things out. Humans have really been the ones that have fallen off the radar as of late. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look back over here. We are getting up some additional scout towers. Keep is being upgraded by Yumiko. And why upgrade the keep there instead of the town hall here? Well, if you upgrade this to tier 2 keep, you can also call to arms from it. A couple or the last patch, I believe, or a recent patch, as recent in terms of Blizzard fiddling with the balance. Your second town hall cannot call to arms. You have to make it so that it is in fact a keep, otherwise, or your starting town hall in order to call to arms here. All right, Arcane Vault. And it looks as though, yes, we are going to get some easy free damage by those Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiend's going to take down a scout tower with no problem. There it goes, as the Mountain King now looks to make its way over. Troll Shadow Priest, Staff of Teleportation. Mountain King wants to get in some easy damage. Death Coil comes in, obviously. We all saw that a mile away, but the Mountain King still wants that Crypt Fiend, and that Crypt Fiend has got to go, as the Mountain King now sitting at level 4. Stormbolt, where is another Stormbolt? I am surprised another Stormbolt has not come through. There's a Stormbolt on a different Crypt Fiend, as that Crypt Fiend also gets Frost Armor. There's another Death Coil, 15% damage reduction all of a sudden, as we see Peasants and another Crypt Fiend get taken down. All right, these Peasants gonna do the slow walk back to this keep here. Are we gonna perhaps have a call to arms? That is gonna be a big question there, as the skeletal minions are now making their way back down. Lich, Death Knight all ready to go. Meanwhile, Mountain King wants to re-engage, but he should not have engaged there, as he does end up losing a fair bit of mana. Not having mana on a Mountain King just turns the Mountain King pretty much into a very, very strong knight. High hit points, good damage, but that is it. Well, with the occasional stun, so I guess that is still a little bit better there, as the Death Knight may try and get a shot off there. Oh, there's a Stormbolt to to finish things off. There's a Death Coil to save another Crypt Fiend. As the units are still wandering around, it looks like another Wisp will be taken out. Alright, the Mountain King sitting at level 4. Clarity Potion now being used. Oh, I thought did he use it? It looked like he used it and then ended up getting attacked to dissipate it once again. Mountain King now using it once more. Gonna get up to 285 mana in a fairly quick fashion. Meanwhile, WFZ moving forward with a level 3 Death Knight and a level 2 Lich up against a level 4 Mountain King. Blood Mage, the mana battery strategy, strong with Yumiko, as the Blood Mage is going to come in and siphon the mana from that Lich. If the Death Knight and the Lich are out of mana and the Mountain King has plenty, that is perhaps the worst possible thing you could have, as the Death Knight is ending up getting surrounded here. Alright, Abolish Magic not coming through. There's a Scroll of Town Portal, as it looks like, oh, another Crypt Fiend gets taken down for the trade of a Militia. Blood Mage on the board with 42 experience as well. Mountain King now ready to clear out this 755 creep camp. Not quite sure why the Blood Mage is not siphoning the mana from the Overlord. Oh, a little bit late there. Not going to get nearly as much mana out of him as he would have liked. A Health Stone now being dropped though, and that is a definite item to worth keep. It is a potion of healing plus half of a ring of regeneration right there, giving you 1 additional hit point a second. Ogre Mauler going to be taking a fair bit of damage. Dark Ranger now comes in with from WFZ in order to do a bit of damage here. Mountain King does have a Scroll of Town Portal and will teleport this entire army all the way back home. Crypt Fiend's now ready to go. Crypt Fiend's now ready to go here as the Mountain King gonna go ahead and try and engage Footman. However, now falling apart as the skeletal minions are now doing a bit of chasing. Alright, it looks like one Footman gonna get taken down, another Footman gonna get taken down here as the Mountain King now runs back off to the north. Alright, Arcane Vault taking a fair bit of damage. The Crypt Fiend's gonna be able to break through this 7 armor fortified. Yes, the Arcane Vault is not being repaired as the peasants pretty much know that they're gonna fall apart the instant they try to repair there. Forest Troll Berserker trying to save some of these buildings, however, ends up taking a Frost Nova Death Coil to the face and gets taken down. 3 guard towers and 1 arcane tower is pretty much all that is left defending the space. Meanwhile, down over here, Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight does have a potion of invulnerability and uses it in time. The Blood Mage almost pushed through and was still able to save it. Now the Death Knight is on the move, does not have Boots of Speed. Mountain King still gets off another Stormbolt. Footman now with the Fen. There is a Siphon Mana again as the Mountain King still wandering around there. There's a Death Coil onto the Blood Mage. Blood Mage now in a little bit of trouble, needs to get back, and it looks like it will be able to retreat. Mountain King still only sitting at level 4 at this point. Hasn't gained any levels recently, even though the game has progressed. The Dark Ranger getting the level, or will be at level 2 shortly. Death Knight will be at level 4 shortly, and the Lich will be at level 3 shortly. Yumiko now in serious trouble as the Blood Mage was taken down. Oh, wait, no, Blood Mage came back. And now, wait, whoa, no, maybe that was a gift of prophecy that the Blood Mage looked like it was going to get taken down. It looked like it made it earlier, but it looked like it was not going to make it again. Yumiko going to finish off this expansion here. 45, or going to lose this expansion here. 51 over 60 now as we're at 400 gold left. Meanwhile, 400 gold left for WFZ. And the main reason why Yumiko cannot defend against this is because of the additional peasants. Yumiko doesn't have a large enough army to really push back against this here. WFZ now with that level 2 Dark Ranger looking to fight here. Meanwhile, the Mountain King is ready to go. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? Yes, there is a Stormbolt. No Banish though. Maybe perhaps once the Mountain King gets to level 5, we'll see that classic Banish Bolt combination, which is just so popular in order to finish off some units. All right, let's go. Going after some destroyers. Destroyers, however, now taking to the skies. It looks like it will get taken down. More ground units destroyed. Mountain King continuing to try to finish things off here. Death Knight getting very low on mana, only to get silenced, unable to continue to channel that there. All right, Crypt Fiend now getting taken down. Destroyers pretty much living up to their name, destroying the rest of the Militia Footman army. Only Spellbreakers and Heroes are remaining, as the Blood Mage still in a little bit of trouble here. All right, Dark Ranger now on the run. Are we going to see another Mountain Bolt or a Storm Bolt? Yes, there is another Storm Bolt there, but the Death Knight is standing nearby, ready to defend that Dark Ranger, even though he doesn't have enough mana for a Death Coil. Spellbreaker's running around in a big circle. Dark Ranger down to 122 hit points. Gonna go ahead and survive here as the Dark Ranger is still wandering around. What is happening? Spellbreaker's now trying to get up right in front of that Dark Ranger there as the Dark Ranger now gets back. Dark Ranger Stormbolt. Oh, beautiful Potion of Invulnerability by WFZ, saving that Dark Ranger from from certain death. That Dark Ranger now able to live and fight another day to harass and cause more problems. Yumiko may end up losing this Spellbreaker, but it looks like WFZ is going to end up losing this Peasant first. Meanwhile, you can take a look down over here. Blood Mage still wandering around. Mountain King. Mountain King nowhere to be found right now. Oh, there he is. Mountain King right there. Clarity Potion and Healing Scroll. That Spellbreaker in a little bit of trouble as we are looking at a tier 2 counter by Yumiko. All right, let's take a look at this expansion. Yumiko still holding on to this ever so barely. That is a lot of peasants. That is a lot of peasants as Yumiko now being forced to try and repair the work on that town hall as it is being demolished. All right, Yumiko looking pretty strong here. Meanwhile, Spellbreaker is gonna almost allow that Mountain King to get to level 5. A level 5 Mountain King does start to make a very big difference as those Storm Bolts take out a significant chunk of hit points. Spellbreaker is on the move, going after the Lich. Lich taking a lot of damage already, down to 100 some odd mana, and is he going to be able to get away? Looks like he will, as the Death Knight was in the backfield. And this is a question that is often very common. Do you leave the Death Knight in the back as support, or do you leave him in the front as a tank? He does both of the roles fairly well. And with the Siphon mana now constantly coming in, it looks like the Destroyer and the Lich are going to be having a little bit of mana problems. As Yumiko continuing here to try and defend against all of these Crypt Fiends, Destroyers, and now bringing over in the Mountain King to try and help. All right, it looks like a Death Coil onto WFZ's Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend taking a fair bit of damage. Now the Banshees are going to cause some problems. The Banshees with possession, a beautiful Death Coil by WFZ again, only to see it get Storm Bolted once more. Mountain King now sitting at level 5, and this is going to be a problem. If the Mountain King is able to... where is that Mountain King? If the Mountain King is able to stay alive, then that 375 hit point Stormbolt is just going to be that much more deadly.
A player's forces are under attack.
All right, Spellbreaker now coming through. A lone arrow from the Dark Ranger now makes its way back as well. It looks like the Blood Mage wants to retreat. Potion of Invulnerability used by the Dark Ranger once more as the Blood Mage continuing to just try and find ways to keep this Mountain King alive and healthy. All right, let's take a look. Blood Mage now looking to back off here. Blood Mage now still in full retreat. Where is he going to be going? Not quite sure. As the Blood Mage still wandering around here. Mountain King now scrolling up. Perhaps going to be able to get sight of this one unit by WFZ as WFZ is going to be able to get away. No, it looks like the Spellbreaker is just going to be able to turn around, get some easy damage. No, not any longer, as WFZ quickly takes to the sky, saving the Obsidian statue by turning it into... what is that thing called? Destroyer. All right, back over here. Destroyers going after all of these units. 3 Destroyers, anti-magic shell, ready to go to help protect. Stormbolt is going to be coming in very, very slowly as the Spellbreakers now finish off this trap or creep camp here. Mountain King picks up the Tome of Strength, now up to 42 to 52 damage, plus an additional 2 points of damage just because of their primary attribute. All right, Destroyer is now doing a good job here, finishing off some Ogre Lords. That is going to be an extremely easy time, finishing off these Ogre Lords. As the Ogre Lords are going to be falling just one at a time here, perhaps picking up some items is going to be the way to work. However, I don't think WFZ knows what exactly Yumiko knows what WFZ is trying to do at this point. All right. Spellbreaker is going to go ahead and get a quick surround onto the Murloc Nightcrawlers and finish up the rest of the units here. As we now move to the midway point in this matchup, level 3 Blood Mage and also a level 4 or almost no level 5 Mountain King. Yeah, there he is, level 5 Mountain King against a level 4 and a level 3, I believe. Level 4 and a level 3, but that Lich is awfully close as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause the game here. I can feel my energy draining just a bit, so stay tuned for part 2 of this third and final game in the series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.